Hello and welcome to another episode of Overlord Explained, and today I'm going to take a closer look at why and how Clementine, an elite ex-member of the Black Scripture, the strongest among the elite units of the slain theocracy, has decided to use this fairly light approach to armor. But before we take a closer look at today's topic, let me quickly thank my Patreons for supporting this channel, as well as say thanks to all users of the YouTube thanks function who made one-time donations. And with that said, let's dive into today's topic. Now, it is said that Clementine had at least originally different armor, but there's also a bit of a lore conflict here, because in this artwork we clearly see that Clementine, even back when she was still a scripture member, had worn her bikini armor already, and not her proper day-affected gear, the gear that the 6 players had left behind, and that normally members of the Black Scripture would just wear on their missions, which is quite odd, considering that Slayn has actually created the modern form of the Adventurer Guild over 200 years ago, as a way to unite the divided human nations against non-human threats such as goblins or orcs or ogres. So having a Black Scripture member just going around slaying adventurers to the point that she can fashion clothing from their dog tags would not fly with Slayn at all. So if she did this back during her time in the scripture, she most certainly would have not worn this armor at all, because otherwise Zashi would have disciplined her quite severely. And by the way, Clementine likely from experience knew how powerful Zashi was, as she even admitted this to Khajiit. Again, she, the arrogant psychopath, has admitted to being inferior. So Clementine will just have worn most likely normal gear while in the Black Scripture, but she likely had to remove it after every mission for safekeeping. We didn't see a lot of the Black Scripture members at all, but whenever we do see them, they are in their gear, while on a mission. Even when the Thousand Leagues astrologue had her breakdown while spying on Ein Sol Gone, which was also clearly a mission, and therefore we can assume that their gear is highly regulated, and the use tightly watched, so that no gear could just disappear. And the only one who didn't wear full armor was Zashi Zetsumai, who only got to wear her gear while on her mission to slay the Elf King. When she was basically off duty, likely just guarding the sacred relics of the 6 great gods, then she had just worn normal clothing. So in short, Clementine could not take her armor with her and therefore decided that she needed a replacement. Now, given the fact that Overlord's women tend to prefer full plate to full view, the question then is, why did Clementine choose to equip this ultralight armor, instead of using proper gear? Now, the first reason is fairly easily explained. She does not need it, even when fighting Momon, which is literally just Ein Sol Gone, the Sorcerer King himself in disguise. Clementine wasn't concerned at all. She felt that Momon was fighting clumsily and haphazardly, and was able to easily dodge all of his attacks. And remember, even Clementine had to acknowledge how strong Momon had been. So Clementine was quick and confident in her own speed and strength, so much so that she did need not much in the way of armor when fighting most New Worlders, and the fact that Clementine was in her 30s level-wise, or in the realm of hero, as it is known in the world of Overlord, meant that she was roughly 10 times stronger than most professional soldiers. And she even said that only a select few individuals could stand up to her in the entire kingdom, such as Vesterklov the Leufin or Gazev Stronov, though even then it would be a hard-fought fight, and without special gear, for example the gear of the kingdom, the royal treasures. Clementine would still win against Gazev. So she could basically fight without any clothing at all, and she would probably be fine in almost any situation, especially since she had not only her stillets, but also blunt weapons to fight the undead. Still, even Clementine knew her limitations, and she only participated in the entire undead army plot with Khajiit in order to throw off the Windflower scripture, which was chasing after her, and even she knew that she could not beat an entire scripture all by herself. And since the black scripture was currently quite occupied, she needed to disappear now, in order to not get killed. And speaking of it, Clementine had eliminated a lot of adventurers in order to gain their plates, not only weak ones, but also Mithril and Orichalcum ranked adventurers. And even in a heavily militarized city, such as Irantel, these high-ranking adventurers were perhaps a dozen or two in total. And now this is the part where we delve into Clementine's kings, because she was a huge sadist and psychopath. And her choice of target against Momon, namely attacking his shoulder, where the armor is thickest, was something she did in order to inflict pain without killing, in order to prolong the fight, and to enjoy the suffering of her enemy. Clementine had undoubtedly an impure interest in these sorts of feelings, and there are a number of theories how this came to be. Maybe Zashi had her humbled so badly that something has broken inside of Clementine, and therefore she now assumed that Zashi enjoyed her job at physically beating up her teammates down into submission, and therefore she decided to do the very same, albeit not on her teammates, but on weaker opponents. So perhaps Zashi's way of dishing out discipline even heightened her feelings. Or, and this is something that Clementine herself hinted at, though not with any seriousness, maybe her own brother, Quayes, was the reason why Clementine became the way she is. He is seen as calm, collected, friendly, and quite diplomatic, so basically the opposite of Clementine. And he is also an excellent beast tamer, known as the one-man army. But maybe he is just as much of a psychopath as her little sister, if not indeed more, and therefore decided to tame Clementine, thus leaving deep scars within her psyche. Or Quayes was just loved more and cared more by the parents for, while Clementine always stood in his shadow. Maybe this was the reason she slowly became unstable over time. Or perhaps Clementine had always been that way, and both siblings are just quite the opposites. And there's yet more to her armor, because Clementine dresses in the dog tags of the fallen adventurers to intimidate her opponents by showing off, pun intended, how many other enemies she had put on their backs. And for Clementine this also has a sadistic component. The fear and emotional trouble is something that by her own admission gets her off. Hence why she was so disappointed by Momon's seemingly cool and collected reaction to her taunting him with the death of his supposed friends. So while most of the characters in Overlord are well armored, like actually wearing protective armor, whether it be Albedo, Sheltier, or even some minor adventurers like Skama Elbero, Clementine had chosen this rather sexualized armor herself because she sexualizes her battles and thrives off the fear and pain that she is inflicting upon others. And with that said, now it's your turn. What do you think about Clementine's rather unprotective protection, and the reason for her wearing it? Please let me know down in the comment section. And with that said, I say thank you very much for watching, and special thanks to Order Daddy Order, Bad Guy Ye, Bad Burrito 316, Bezer, Ben C, Brandon D, Chrissy, Crowdy 0221, Sia, Crystal Prime, Dead Slime, Death is Mercy, Deathless Dragonlord, Demon Xenomorph 1987, Devin Downen, Ding Dong, Dragonlord Placy Du Saxophone, Duckwagon, Dunkler Krieger, Dystopia, Dystopia II, Enigmatic Unicorn, Feralchivan, Guy with That Hat, Hector Marino, Hoss, Huster, Jacob G, Jana B, Jason, J. Morris, Chromius, Kyle R, Lee K. Long, Legendarius, Lelouch Britannia with a Mustache, Lexus Fox, Lord Nishikian Rai, Lord Touch Me, Love Razor, Merovec, Mr. Shoes, Mr. Tweaker, Michael R, Michael Y, Nope, oh hell no, Normal Toad, O'Kill, Overlord General Gasper, Paddy Pantom, Personage, Primus 11, Rhinomere, Cune Caracos P, Shergox's Daddy, Shadow Lightning Wolf, Shrine Keeper, Super Tier Magic Batista Bomb, Supreme Cheese, Staris, Ted, Texas Deer, The Orc Warboss, Rag Ed Smasher, T.E. Wang, Vash Hawkeye, Vegito 27, Venture Fanatic, Wilhelm, Xenukai, and Zonegon. Thanks guys. Anyway, have a nice day, and I hope to see you all again soon under my next video.